Okay, and here's your 8th lesson. In this lesson will be about functions, and I'm also going to show you how to use the wait. So to begin, I'm going to show you the wait thing, which can be very useful. So if I go ahead and get the part, so part equals game.workspace dot part, and then go ahead and do part dot transparency equals 0.5. And then I go ahead and set a wait 2, and I copy this, set it equal to say 1. I'm actually going to put another wait right here. So let me start by telling you what's happening. So I get the part by going from the games workspaces part pretty much, and then I got wait. So the script is going to wait 2 seconds until it continues on to the next line. So it's at line 1, line 2, gets to line 3, waits 2 seconds, then goes on to line 4, goes to line 5, waits 2 seconds, and goes to line 6. So if I go ahead and click, say, run, I can see that it does that. So yeah, that's pretty much what a wait is. Pretty simple. Now, if you were to have no number in there, you can try 0, but 0 is the same thing as this, and it actually does wait a little bit of time, like a tiny fraction of time. So this is pretty much the same thing as that. This and this is the same thing. Now if you're trying to do something where you really want it to be like that or something, and you want it to be literally the tiniest amount of time ever, this will automatically turn itself into this, because this is the minimum wait time, and this is basically something that Roblox implements so that you don't break your scripts. So automatically the smallest wait you could ever get is this, and there's definitely a lot of cases where you want an even smaller wait, and that's not possible. But the way we can change the minimum wait time is by going to File, Settings, scroll down. So you go into Studio, right, and you scroll down to maybe it's in this, yes. So you go into Lua, and you can change your default wait time. I think it's automatically 0.01, but I changed my default wait time to be 10 times less. So you can change this to whatever you want. I mean, you can change it to like this if you feel like it. Just know it could potentially fuck some things up. But yeah, so that's how you change your default wait time, and that's basically the minimum wait time. So yeah, that's how wait works. Now something else I haven't really told you. So fitting part dot transparency equals 0.5, and say I had 2 parts, and again I just did Control D to duplicate. So you can see whenever I do Control D, it makes a new part, and I just drag it, and I use Control Z to undo, obviously. So I got 2 parts. Now you can see I get part is equal to game.workspace.part, but the problem is there's 2 parts that are called part. You know, it doesn't know what the hell which part to do. So I'm not sure how this really works, but it picks a random part. I'm pretty sure it picks the one on top, or it goes by order. So it'll pick this part over this one because this one's before this one. So I think it's gonna choose this part. Well, I don't know. Let's go ahead and run and see what happens. Yeah, it picks the top part, I guess. I'm gonna actually make 4 and see which one still happens. So yeah, it's gonna pick the top part. So in these situations, say I have 2 parts, but I want this one to change and not this one. Well, I will have to rename this part into something else. So I can name it into lemon or something. And I'll do lemon. So that Ego Schemes workspace lemon. And now part is equal to the lemon. So if I click run, then it will go to the lemon instead. So yeah, just make sure if you're going to code the part, make sure the part has a unique name. So yeah. Next up is functions. I'm actually gonna get rid of part, keep it as lemon, just to confuse you. And I'm actually gonna call this lemon part. So a function is basically a way to do something multiple times. So say I want to change the transparency of the part multiple times, I can do that. So if I go ahead and create a function, so function change transp, so basically change transparency. I just shortened it obviously, and I'm going to do lemon part dot transparency is equal to 0. No, is equal to 1, and I'm going to wait 1 second and copy this, paste it, and set it equal back to 0. So obviously right now transparency is 0. So whenever I call this function, it's going to change the transparency to 1. So it's going to make the part invisible, and then wait a second and make it visible again. So if I wait 1 second and call the function, now this may be very confusing for you, so let me explain it. So I get the lemon part, and as the script is going down line by line by line by line, it completely ignores the function until I call it. So how you call a function is basically by saying the name and these two curly bracket things. Parentheses. So yeah. So basically you can just ignore this. This is not here yet. So 1, 2, ignore 8. It's going to wait 1 second. Go to line 10. Go to line 11. Oh shit. It calls the function change transparency. So it's going to go all the way back to line 3. And then it's going to do whatever is inside of the function. So then it's going to run line 4, line 5, wait a second, and go to line 6. Then once the function's over, it'll go back to where the function was called and go on from there. So basically it goes line 1, line 2, all the way to line 8, line 9, line 10, line 11, goes back to where the function is, does this, then continues on down here. That's how it basically works. So in this case, it's going to wait a second, then I'm going to call the function, and the lemon part is going to become invisible. It's going to wait a second, and then it's going to change the transparency back to 0. So if I click run, it will make it visible and revisible. Now something I can also do is I can put another wait in here and call the function again. And if you can see, it happens twice. So, boom. And then I can just copy this again and click run again. And it will happen 3 times, right? There we go. So yeah, that's how a function works, pretty much. I would tell you, go ahead and practice it on your own. Do whatever the fuck you want. Just, get on into Roblox Studio, make your own function, and what I actually want you to do is go into the comments in this video and post a script that you created, knowing functions and everything else I've taught you so far. And I'd like it to be decent size, so at least 20 lines, which is this much. Okay, so yeah, go ahead and do that, and see you on lecture lesson 9. Now, how painful was that video to watch? Well, pretty painful, I'm guessing, because that sounded pretty fucking boring, didn't I? Now, sorry about that. I sounded pretty boring, I know, but I don't really give a shit. I'll try to be less boring from now on. But anyways, I didn't make a mistake. I just forgot to mention something. So if you were to call the function from up here, say like that, it's going to get an error because at line 3 it never got to the function. So basically, once it gets to line 5, it doesn't ignore the function like I said it does. It registers the function. It doesn't do the function, but it registers it, is what I kind of want to call it. So it registers the function, and the function has to be registered before you can call it. So at this point in time, at line 3, the function has not been registered yet, so you can't call it. So if I click run, it's not going to happen because it doesn't know what the function is at this point in time. But if I put it under, it's registered, and well, it's going to happen. So there you go. Sorry about that. Go on to my next video.